All right, you all, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this one here. This is a good video, so we're going to jump into the commentary after, but let's go ahead and jump right into it.
I have kids, but I'm not a person that particularly likes to date people with kids anyways. So
Why is it?
I don't like to deal with drama.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys that they don't want to date women with kids. Don't just say
That's
he's
not a
saying
man,
drama.
Well, let me pick the back on that.
Yeah,
That's not a man.
The men that don't date women with kids, I understand where they're coming from, because don't no man want to play Mr. Cleanup guy, right?
Why not?
What is it that you can offer me that you haven't given to another man?
Oh my goodness.
There's the reason why I'm saying that, because one, you shared your youth, your fertility, and your womb with another man. So why should I give up my resources to take care of your kids?
Are you serious right now?
Yes, I'm being very serious.
That's some bullshit. If you are a man that has children, to say that to a woman that has children, it almost sounds as narcissistic as hell.
Okay, let me ask you this. How are your kids are going to be an asset to me if I was dating you?
I would never date a man that ever asked me no craziness like that.
See,
I would never.
But that's
Because
the
you would
problem.
never ask me how my kids would be an asset to you.
that's the thing.
That's insanity.
So do you want a man to come in there and share his resources with your kids?
What is the resources that he's sharing with my children?
His finances.
I don't need 'em.
Because Vic, that's cap. If a man is dating a woman at some point in time, Vic, a woman
Let's
is
get
going to
into it.
want a man to share his finances in the household.
All right, you all. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one, because this is a very, very interesting one that we know all too well within the Black community. And we know that this happens a lot. And so I wanted to provide a couple of different points so that way we can work off of those, and then we can just kind of go a little bit deeper down as we go in there. But when you look at the Black population alone in the US, I mean, we account for at least there are more than 50 million Black people in the United States alone just by itself. So when you put that number into a perspective, we only make up about 15%, a little over 15% of the population. Now, I want to bring up the point of only 50% of us in the Black community, 50% of Black Americans have never been married, never been asked to marry, like 50% never married. The other 50% of that is broken up into 30% of us who have actually been married, along with about another 3% who are actually separated from their spouse, have another 12% that are divorced, and another 6% that are widowed. So when you take those combined, that makes up the other 50% there. Now, I bring this up because that lets you know that we have our community. When I say our community, I'm talking about the Black community. So you're going to hear me using the terms interchangeably there. But when you look at the Black community, we have the highest statistics in being unmarried. So when you flip it and you look at the number of children that are born within our community, they're born out of wedlock. So we're not basically marrying the people that we are having kids by. And this is both the man and woman, of course, coming together to make the kids. So we all understand that. So I don't have to say that that's understood. But what I want to get at that's going to lead into the story is the ladies say it with an attitude is he's not a real man if he doesn't date a woman that has kids. I want to argue the point that he is a real man for not dating the woman who has kids, because he doesn't want those problems, because she specifically said she does not date men who have kids because that can lead to problems. The flip side of that is the men are purposely not dating the women with the kids because they don't want to deal with the baby daddy drama. Because what we all see is the baby daddy by the woman that single man with no kids is trying to date is oftentimes dating a woman who has a child or multiple children. The baby daddy is not there. And if the baby daddy is incarcerated, or if the baby daddy is with some other woman, or he's not there in the house, that new man is going to have to put up resources to take care of that kid. And it takes resources to take care of kids. If you have kids, you understand this wholeheartedly. I don't care how much money that woman makes. The man is not focused on how much money the woman makes. He just knows that she's working And if she makes more than him, that's a whole nother different story. But even if she makes money or way more money than him, the guy they're dating, which is unlikely that she's going to date somebody who's making more, that she's making more than. She's going to prefer that a guy make more than her. But let's entertain the fact that that woman is working and that man is working. So you got this single man, no kid. You got that woman with one kid or multiple kids. Those are not his kids. If they are coming together to build a household, his resources are going to have to help her. How does that work? Well, if, say, for example, that man decides, who has no kids, decides to date that woman with a child or multiple children, the kid's going to have to go on somebody's health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance. They get hurt, have to go to the hospital, FSA, HSA. They're going to have that. So whose resources are they going to come after? A lot of times what happens is the man is going to foot that bill if they're married, okay? If they're not married and just dating, that guy's probably there just for fun, but he's not going to commit to a woman that has kids by somebody else unless he really likes that person. Now, we have to also understand that this is a lot of times happening between the 20s and the 30-year-olds, okay? We understand the fact that 30 plus getting to your 40s, the chances of you meeting somebody who has kids is much higher because they could have been married before. And I'm not talking about the people who had kids I'm not talking about the folks who were married and then they had kids with the person they was with for years and then they divorced and now they're back out on the dating market. I'm not talking about those folks. I'm only talking about the people who have never been married, who's having kids out of wedlock, and who's expecting that man to come in to save them. Because when you think about it, they're out here, they're dating, they're in the store, they're in the club, wherever that they meet people. They're expecting that man to come in and save the day, and he's not the cleanup guy. It's not the responsibility of that single man with no kids to be the cleanup guy in the situation. The cleanup guy should be the baby daddy whom you decided to lay down with and have kids with. That should be the cleanup person right there. That's the person that you should be marrying right there because you already gave them the highest honor of having a kid anyway. We've all heard this too many times on the channel and everything. And it's just one of those things that really actually, hits home very hard in our community, you all. And it's such a shame that we have the highest statistics of us never even being married whatsoever. Now, when you look at the economy of Black households and things like that, in terms of income that comes around our community, the median household income of most Black families is around $51,000 a year. And that is combined between husband and wife, as opposed to other communities such as white communities or whatever. They're more closer to the $80,000 range. And so resources are having to be put together to raise a family. That's just it. So if that man had an option in a lineup of women who were attractive women, they dressed nice, they had jobs, they were attractive and everything. If he had the option to go with the woman who doesn't have kids versus the woman who does have kids, he is going to choose the option that best benefits his situation. And it's going to be the woman without kids, because he's going to want to have the highest honor of being able to start a family on his own instead of having a pre-made family. And that's just the reality of how it is. So you all definitely tap into the comments below, like, listen, and subscribe. Look forward to bringing more content to you all soon.